Good day, YouTube. This is Jim Lee with Falling Forward Financial. I was just doing an update on Tilray here. I've talked about this one a couple times and numerous other MJ stocks. I'll go ahead and link the other Tilray videos in the description. Looks like on February 13th and February 9th kind of went over some information on Reddit, as well as the deal between Tilray and Freya. I still don't have any shares of Tilray. It's about one of the only MJ stocks that I do not own. It's just quite on the volatile side for me, but so is Sundial and some other ones. But as you can see, for the last week, this one's had a great run-up. I remember when it went up and came back down, I was tempted, but still just kind of stayed away. But everything kind of dipped here on March 5th. But ticker TLRY. If you don't know what this one is, it's research, cultivation, production, and distribution of medical MJ and cannabinoids. And feel free to pause and read the rest there for yourself. Been around since 2018, $4.45 billion market cap. And terrible ratings here on Robinhood. If you go up here, this says 93% of analysts rate Tilray as a hold. But a good catalyst here. This is 2 days old on Wednesday. Tilray gets approval from Medical MJ, or for Medical MJ in New Zealand. And we'll go over that a little bit more in depth here. And then I come across this: is now time to buy stock in Sundial growers, Tilray, Apple, or Carnival. And kind of an interesting article. Sundial with a neutral rating. Target price of $1.15. That kind of pisses me off. That's about what my cost basis is. The Ministry of Health and Medicinal MJ Agency of New Zealand has granted Tilray the first approval under the new Medical MJ scheme to launch Medical MJ products across the country, according to the press release Wednesday morning. So this, we'll see what this does for the price, but and of course Apple with an outperform. I've done a couple of videos on Apple. If you have any shares of Apple or Carnival Cruise, go ahead and leave that in the comments as well. I have kind of stayed away from the cruise lines. They're calling them now the recovery stocks, but I've still stayed away from those. So is Tilray a buy? Kind of some interesting information in here. Something for you to think about if you're a Tilray holder. Some of the information that I go over might kind of piss you off. I mean, it's just truth. It's just something to think about and speculate if you're a holder of Tilray. People are pretty, I hate to use the word religious when it comes to Tilray and Sundial, but they're pretty gung-ho about both of them. They're both kind of volatile, riskier, more MJ plays, but that's just my opinion. But Canadian weed giant was on a tear in 2020. Despite the stock market woes of the past week, its shares have gone up nearly 60% over the past 12 months, making one of the top performers in the industry. Benchmark Horizons MJ Life Sciences Index ETF, which returned 46% over the same period. I've covered quite a few ETFs here on the channel. You can find those in the library as well. Some are THCB, I believe. MJ's one of my biggest holdings. MSOS, and there's a couple other ones. Those might be due for an updated video, but the nice thing about those is they have a basket of about 8 to 10 different stocks, different MJ stocks, and they also give a dividend, so those are kind of nice. But last year, Tilray grew its revenue by 26% from 2019, reaching $210.5 million, and is also near the finish line in terms of achieving profitability. And feel free to pause and read the rest of that information there for yourself. And got some more information here. Tilray could have much more downside on the horizon. And so, like I said, some of these might kind of piss you out, but it's just stating the truth about Tilray. Much ado have been made about the Tilray merger with Aphria. Indeed, this merger will result in the combined entity being the largest MJ producer in the world. Investors piled into Tilray stock aggressively since the merger was announced on December 16th. Shares of Tilray stock increased from the $9 level at the beginning of the year to as high as $67 per share in early February. I remember that run-up. I was like, oh, here it goes again. So I think a couple years ago it ran up to like $300. It was just on a major run. However, a month later, shares are down nearly 70%. So if you did some options on it going up and some options on it going down, some people made a killing on it, but I did not do either. And here it kind of goes over some growth stocks are doing well to start the fact that both Tilray stock and Aphria stock are underperforming in the recent weeks shouldn't be news to investors. So MJ's kind of been up and down. Feel free to pause and read the rest there for yourself. MJ's been kind of up and down with the speculation of legalization and just all kinds of political issues. But I'm a long-term investor in these. I buy on the dips when I can and just kind of set and hold, and eventually they've got to go back up. So, and this is dated on the 10th. Shares of Tilray climbed on Wednesday after the MJ company announced it had received regulatory approval to sell medical MJ products in New Zealand. So maybe in time this will be another good catalyst for it to bump up at the price. And feel free to pause and read the rest there for yourself. Back to receives to expand and commercialize medical MJ products in New Zealand. And just another article about it again here on Market Watch. And again, feel free to pause and read the rest there for yourself. It's kind of the same information. Back to Reddit. Let's see if we can find any juicy details in here. Got me over 500,000 today. Call since 1/5/2021. Still think it has much upside. So, like I said, people are doing... I've never looked into the options on these. Wasn't something that I really looked into, so see what StockTwit says here. I did a video about the Organigram. They had some great news. You can go ahead and watch that video. I've covered Sundial a couple times this week. 67, our next target is 82. Got to be prepared. So sometimes this does run. When Tilray runs, it runs. So my suggestion on it is set your alerts, set your stops if you're buying into it so you don't lose money. That's about the only advice that I can really give to you. I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice, but you can set your alerts and kind of have... But there's some good information in here throughout the next week and throughout March. These stocks are going to spike as the newly legalized states get up and the decriminalization bill soon to hit the Congress floor. So just right there, if all that takes place, these will go on a run. And these are some of the favorite ones: Organigram, Sundial, Tilray, and Aphria. Like I said, I'm in these for the long run. We'll see what happens with them, and I've talked about High Tide as well. Oxley, I have not talked about that one. I don't own any of that one either. High Tide's kind of an interesting one. See, it's a penny stock. You can find that video in my library as well. Oxley flying into... Oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, yes, I had a comment on one of my other videos. There's a comment to do a video on Oxley, so watch for that one. And if I don't get it done tonight, I'll definitely get it done tomorrow. But that one is on my radar, Oxley. I'll have to look into that one. If there's any other MJ stocks or any other stocks period you want me to cover, I'd be happy to do that. Here's Johnny. But I've had quite a few here lately, and I always do my best to try to get the video out as soon as I can. It just kind of depends on what else I have on my agenda and work schedule and everything like that, but I try to get them out as soon as I can. So I appreciate any time you have a request that I can do a video on. I always like that. It's always good to see in the comments. So, and not really too much positive here on tip ranks, but of course hold and sell, and it's a MJ stock, so again, you can take their ratings for what they're worth, but I wouldn't take them to heart. If you're like these particular stocks and in them for the long run, it shouldn't matter. You can take the highs, buy the low, sell on the highs if you want, or just hold it and keep buying on the dips. But that's what I do on some of them. But if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing. And comments are always welcome, like I said, and I will see y'all on the next one. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.